You get a phone call from a guy you know who works for Simpson Bruckheimer, and then who says, "Are you available for a meeting right now?" And I'm not talking about within a day or two. It was like, right now. Can you detour from your way home from another thing to our office at Disney? And then 2 hours later, I'm sitting down with Jerry, and they say, "We've got this horrible script." All I knew about that was they had this. They actually said it's a half-written script. It was literally only half-written, the current draft, before they'd moved on. We have a window with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, who both had TV shows, who were going on hiatus. And we got this young, hot director named Michael Bay. And we have to start shooting in, I forgot how many weeks. It was 6 weeks, something like that. It was a really short prep window. No, actually, no, it was 4 weeks. Yeah, so, and we need a warm body who can write to throw at it, and we need them to start now, because all these things aren't going to come together unless we get someone writing it. It was this farce all the years it was in development, which was like 11 years. It still kind of hung around the original George Gallo farce, which is the two cops and the witness. But Will and Martin had told Jerry they wanted to do an action movie. And there's the line in the movie that Joey Pants has, "Just do what you do, only faster." That was what Jerry said to me that day, because I said, "I don't know if I have enough time to kind of pull this off." He says, "Just do what you do, just faster, and say yes." And we were off to the races. I was in Miami, like 3 days after that. Well, I didn't have a lot of time to go to locations, because I was busy writing, trying to put together a movie. And some of the movie was being put together because Michael Bay would come in and show me a location that he had just bought, because we had this window and we had to start shooting right away, which meant they had to start building sets. Michael had this idea, or someone had this idea, for Club Hell. And that was going to be a big interior set, and we're going to shoot in there. What happens in there is not written yet. Not a single idea has been written there, but I've given this thing, and it's also going to be our first cover set, which will be the bathroom. And they're going to do this bathroom, and Michael had this idea for this cool fish tank that's going to go in the bathroom. By the way, tip people, ever see fish tank in a scene in the movie, usually it's going to break at some point. Just it's going to happen. But we had a cover set, because it's my summer in Miami and it rains, so we're going to be using the cover set right away. So I had to write a cover set scene that before I even knew how the movie started and how it ended. That's that's the madness that it was. And it continued to change and evolve. And Don Simpson finally showed up from a, what do they call those things back then? A fat farm? He'd been getting in shape and getting all dried out and detoxed before the movie began. So he shows up and he likes a lot what it's done, but he's throwing out a lot. And we're starting to shoot. So it was write at Monday, shoot at Wednesday. It was like that some days. And how far ahead I could get. I would sneak out to a set, maybe, at night a few times, but generally I was tied to this thing, one of these.
With respect,
crapping, what we call crapping script out and trying to get it right. I'm not a comedy writer. I like to tell people that. I'm really not. Because those guys who do write comedy, and it's got to be funny on the page, and who do it alone versus the guys who do it in a writer's room, which is a whole different thing. I was lucky that I had Will and Martin and Taya we had them a week before we started to shoot. And we had 3 days rehearsals where I would come in with ideas, and sometimes they were scenes that were written out. And then Martin and Will and Taya, and sometimes it was just a situation I had an idea for, and we would talk it through. And I was lucky I had 2 really funny guys. And Taya was cast entirely because she was funny and was willing to jump in without a script. That was entirely why she was cast, aside from being a really good actress. But we were like, on a piece of tape. It was like we saw the tape and we said, we have to hire her because she's funny and we need funny. So I had them for 3 days. So some scenes came out of improv, their improvs or my improvs with them. And then some scenes came out of some brilliant auditions by some of the other funny actors in it, and I have said from the beginning, I've gleefully borrowed from their audition tapes, because it would be like, he's funny, hire him. Michael Imperioli, great tape, just great tape. We just sent him to Miami. And then he showed up and I ran into him in the hotel and I said, if you see a lot of your improv dialogue in the scene that you're going to shoot tomorrow, thank you.